Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm not in my room like usual. We are in the middle of a home renovation, summer vacation, family togetherness. It's a whole thing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Well, that's why I'm here, and that's why they're there. Yeah. It's been a while. I hope everyone's having a great summer. Mine has been crazy, and yet we move. Okay. I wanted to do a video about something that I've been thinking about for a while. Okay, if you're on Twitter, you can't help but stumble across the bad parent threads, the parental child abuse threads, the spank or no spank threads. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. And as someone who is sort of on like, not the older side, because I'm not like, you know, old.
I passed my life expectancy.
But I am very much an adult, been independent for a long time. I'm a mom, and I've been a mom for a while too. When I see these threads, my first thought is most of these people are early to mid 20s, maybe still lives with their parents. They don't have kids, they're not parents themselves, and it just very much feels like these debates about parenting and what a good parent is and what a good parent is not has always felt like very incomplete.
My life is incomplete without you, girl. My life is incomplete.
I see some points that you're making, but like you're definitely missing a lot of points too. So you're probably wondering like what sparked this video. I mean, it wasn't like one particular tweet, but I saw one the other day. What was it? Somebody tweeted, "I really love is your body hurt or are your feelings hurt as a replacement for you're okay when a child is crying." Whoever came up with that is all right in my book. Basically they're saying when kids fall, a lot of times you say, "No, don't worry, you're fine, you're okay, get up, you know, walk it off," or whatever. And they're basically like, instead of saying you're okay, we should ask the child, is your body hurt or are your feelings hurt? And I'm like, what? I mean, I understand like the thought behind it, letting the child speak for themselves and tell you how they feel, and duh, of course. But I'm just like, you guys, in reality, like if you're in the middle of the store shopping, your kid falls, okay, in front of everybody and they're crying their head off, are you really gonna stop and say, is your body hurt or are your feelings hurt? Like, are you really gonna do that? Everybody's staring at you, freaking cashier's waiting on you to come scan your stuff and your child's crying. A lot of these threads and a lot of these like tweets are just devoid of reality, and it's so annoying. It really bothers me, okay? As somebody who's like actively raising children, like right now, I'm just like, I don't say that. But that doesn't mean that like I don't care about how they feel. And the thing about it is there's a shaming aspect to these posts. The non-spankers, hyper aware like future parents or whatever, because I don't think any of these people actually have kids, but this group is not here just to talk to themselves and to each other. They want other people to see these threads, and they want other people to be influenced to change their parenting by seeing these threads. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, I'm sure it does. Like, I've read things on Twitter about parenting that has made me think twice about things I was doing. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, that they want to influence other people to being better parents. That's great. But there is definitely an aspect of it that's shaming and very like condescending. And it's very interesting because it's like, you don't actually have kids. You don't actually have kids. I don't really know in like, obviously, like, you don't have to have kids to know you don't hurt kids, don't abuse kids, duh. Like, that's across the board. I don't have to, you know, I don't have a dog, but of course I'm gonna say don't abuse your animal, don't abuse your pet. Like, duh, you don't have to have a dog to have a stance on being a pet owner. So in the same way, you don't have to be a parent to have a stance on parenting. But I do think that people come at it from a very, like I said, very condescending point of view, and it's like you don't really have the life experience and the authority to have all that energy related to your pain, you know what I mean? And the thing is, shaming people into being good parents doesn't work. Like, shaming people into doing things doesn't mean that they will do those things you want them to do. We joke when we say bullying works, but this concept just doesn't hold up when it comes to things like being a parent. You can't bully someone into being a good parent. What's missing from these threads is the fact that bad parenting does not happen in a vacuum. So where does the concept of spanking come from? It's not new. It's been around for centuries. It's a sort of an international trend, honey, that has never died down, okay?
So who invented paddling? Sailors. In the 18th century, paddling was used at sea to discipline naughty seafarers, such as if they slacked off and went to sleep during night watch. Paddling came to American shores as a way to punish slaves without scarring them. Slave owners and slave traders began paddling because they didn't want to damage the people they saw as their valuable property.
Human beings, we like control. We like to have as much control as possible. And like, children are very hard to control. They're very hard to control. They very much have their own minds, and that makes people uncomfortable, honestly. I'm so glad that this generation of people are really thinking twice about how we treat children. I mean, I love that. You can't talk about this topic without discussing all the ways that children are a neglected and oppressed group. Children don't have very many rights, and children are not really thought of nearly as much as they should be. I mean, just think about what's going on right now with the vaccine, the virus. Like, we opened up before kids were even vaccinated, and then we basically allowed everyone to take their mask off and kids are not even vaccinated.
I wanted to take a second to talk about the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is an international treaty that recognizes the human rights of children defined as persons up to the age of 18. As of today's date, only the United States of America has not ratified the convention.
This country hates kids, honestly. Society does not respect children in the way that they should, just overall. But also when we have these conversations, we can't neglect to discuss the ways that parents are a neglected group as well. Think about the financial cost of having a child. I mean, it's astronomical. Childcare alone it's almost like having a kid is like a luxury these days. There's health insurance to think about. You have to think about the need for additional living space and rooms when you're picking, you know, a home or an apartment to live in. I mean, it adds up. Feeding the child every day, feeding the kids, man, it's not cheap. It's not. There's a reason why single mothers oftentimes live below the poverty line. Like, being a parent is very expensive, and the government has still to this day not found a way to make it affordable to have a kid. Parents are out here suffering, you guys. I became a mother at age 24, 25, and right now I'm 32, and I'm just going back to work. So I missed out on 7.5, 8 years of career growth and promotional opportunities, all because I had a child. And I mean, it really wasn't a choice at all. Daycare cost is so much, it would have taken my entire paycheck. It was useless and pointless for me to go to work. In all, I have estimated, okay, that I have missed out on at least $100,000 in money the last few years, okay? I am a college graduate. I went to school for mass communication, media communication. So that's one career. I am a professional violinist. That's two, second career. And I'm also a violin teacher. And so think of all the different ways in which I could have made money if I was not a parent that I missed out on, all because I had kids. I feel like when we have these conversations about the way that parents and how bad or good of a parent they are, we don't talk about, you know, what's going on. Like, we don't talk about the behind the scenes aspect of it. We cannot fail to mention the toll that being a parent takes on your physical and your mental health. We see all the pregnancy horror posts on Twitter talking about how pregnancy can make your teeth fall out, you can break a rib. The government does nothing to like supplement and subsidize like being a mother and being a father in this country. Like, it really isn't. There are really no benefits, and there's pretty much only like cons to being a parent in the United States. Parenting doesn't happen in a vacuum. Bad parenting does not happen in a vacuum. The parent is just an individual who exists under capitalism. Capitalism is draining. Capitalism values profit over people. Capitalism does not breed good parents. Because of capitalism, access to mental health and childcare is very hard to obtain. And the extent to which a person has access to these things determines what type of parent they show up as each day. And it determines whether or not we can show up as our best selves. This is why affluent families are less likely to physically punish their children. Okay, this website says highly educated middle-class parents are less likely to use corporal punishment than less educated working class and poor parents. Okay, they just aren't that stressed out over Billy calling them a whatever. They just aren't. They're not that stressed out about it. Okay, because they don't have that much external stress. And when they do have external stress, they go to the spa, they go to their counselor, they go to brunch. When their kid is really getting on their nerves, they send them to boarding school. So when we have these conversations about bad parents, spanking, what we're doing is we're punishing the poor. We're shaming the poor. I don't think you guys really understand that. You are more likely to spank your child when you're broke. Okay, why are you broke? Capitalism. You know, capitalism values efficiency over everything. Efficiency is the most important thing. Profit is the most important thing. We don't have a lot of time to sit and talk to our kids the way we should. We don't have the time. That tweet was very sweet and I really appreciate it. I know it came from a good place, but we don't have time to say, are your feelings hurt or is your body hurt? We don't. You know why? Because we gotta get to work. We're working 40 hours a week. We are maxed out. We're stressed. We don't have access to a counselor to talk about our postpartum depression. So we're not gonna sit and say, is your feelings hurt? We're gonna say, you're okay, get up, I got stuff to do. Is that the best way to parent? No, but there's more than one victim here and I kind of want that to sink in. And we can't not talk about the concept of the nuclear family model, one that originates in Europe but has been popularized in the United States since the 20th century. Nuclear family model believes that a household should consist of two parents, preferably married, and their offspring. So it sounds great in theory, except that there's two people who are responsible for taking care of however many kids pop out of them for 18 years or more. That is a lot, and it's something that's completely made up because in other parts of the world they don't follow that model. That is like additional stress that is placed on parents. I've oftentimes felt like this is too much. Like this is I'm with them like a lot of days in the year, and I just kind of feel like, is this normal? It's not. It's just something random we do here. One of the many random things we do here with no rhyme or reason. To summarize this video, we need to fight for a society that allows for parents to be nurturing and patient with their kids. The society we have now has no room for that. We need to broaden the conversation. I want to see tweets that talk about ways in which we can work towards a society where parents really have the time to sit and stop and think before reacting to things their child is doing. We don't have that time. We don't have that luxury to sit and stop and think, and it's affecting our relationship with our kids. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I am not a professional on this topic. I am literally just a person who gets on the internet sometimes, a person who has been a daughter, and a person who's now a mother. I've stood on both sides of this topic, and so with that perspective, this is what I feel like needs to be said on it. I don't see people saying this. Thank you for watching my video, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.